Welcome back to another The Ancient Magus Bride review. Today is episode 10. How's it going? I'm Justin.
What is up? I'm Logan.
And together we're Couch Talk. As always, before we jump into this, we are anime viewers only, so no spoilers down below. And let's get into this review, discuss this episode, and give our scores at the end.
Alright, let's do it.
Alright. So, oh shit, that is blaring at me. In the beginning, we get a clip of Lyndall in the past, I think it is. Later, we learn.
No, it's... Wait. I think it's Elias.
Yeah, Elias. Yeah, that's my bad. I am tripping right now. It's definitely Elias, and he's fighting off some wolves. He's just kind of wandering off. I don't know why I said Lyndall. It's clearly Elias. Whatever. But the point is, we get a quick little
glimpse.
Just of that, yes.
Little glimpse.
Yeah, glimpse. And we actually do get more of his, at least, not quite his origin, but for the person he is now.
Yes, this was good backstory on Elias this episode.
Yes. So, we get the one Lyndall Sama's little familiar or whatever is a Selkie. It's a water creature that came to talk to him, basically saying, "Hey, Chisei, you need to come back to the land of dragons." And they kind of see it as like a good opportunity for her. Just kind of go out there.
Right.
And obviously she hasn't been anywhere by herself, really.
Yeah, there
like
was
truly by herself.
There was an emphasis for her to go alone.
Yes.
Not necessarily alone, just without Elias.
And of course, they refer to her as the granddaughter. So, which is kind of a weird way to phrase it. Like, even if, like, it would never be granddaughter if, let's say, Elias was his child, right? Obviously not, but
right.
was. He was not going to be marrying the granddaughter.
Maybe, I don't. Maybe Lyndall sees the relationship differently. Maybe that's why he said it.
Yeah, probably. He probably, because she's like his apprentice, and
right.
maybe he views Elias as
like
his son because he took him in as an apprentice.
Yeah, that's probably his logic of reasoning.
Yes. And dragons grow up pretty damn quick.
They grow up super quick. This is the same dragon she played with in the earlier episodes.
And now the dragon's like, "Come on, ride me."
This was a cool scene, just them flying through the air. You know,
yes.
Good visuals, good music. What we expect.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, she doesn't go truly alone. She goes with Ruth. You can't leave your dog behind, okay?
For
dog
real.
goes with you. So, yeah, she heads off, and I'm trying to remember the next, like, important bit that pulls up.
I mean, she meets Lyndall.
Yes.
And the next bit would... She, we mentioned this earlier, but they did a little callback to get her wand.
Yes.
Which, well, that's the main reason she's there in the first place.
Yes, that is. She finally needs her wand. That way, it will help control the magic.
Right, and I'm glad they did make it off Nevin's tree. Like.
Yes, there's no way they weren't gonna.
Exactly.
And she decides she has to be the one to basically, cut it down to get her branch. From what it sounds like, from what people are saying, we're going to see more about what goes into the creation of the wand next episode.
Yeah, because I don't think... She just got like a twig. She didn't really create the wand.
Yeah, she just kind of got a twig and was like, alright, this is good. And I just don't want to speak too quickly because there's a part, but alright, it's not up yet. Yeah, a bird approaches Elias. Basically... I don't think it says anything in the first scene we see it. It just kind of shows up on the windowsill.
Yeah, we just know it's someone from the college administration.
Yes. Adolf Stroud or something like that is the name they use. But we go back, and of course, Chisei and Lyndall are together, and we learned Lyndall is a healer with these hands, and that there hasn't been one born for a long time. Again, this kind of goes back to how there's mages are rare, sorcerers are rare, and I guess the healer hands are even probably a little more rare.
Right.
I'm guessing healing's not something every mage can do.
Right.
At least that's what it sounds like from this.
We do get a very, very interesting conversation. This has been slowly building up, it feels, because almost every character that Chisei interacts with has brought this up. They like bring up how this relationship with Elias isn't like natural. Because even Lyndall, he's like, I'm worried. Like, and that's saying something.
Like he's taming you like one would a reindeer.
Right.
Is what he says.
And that's saying something coming from his father figure. Because, like, I saw someone mention this. They're like, throughout the show, it's kind of been shifting. Like, Chisei's been, like, blindly going with Elias. And now all these characters are kind of, like, trying to convince her how it's not really right. Because at first there was Renfred.
And it's not like they're against Elias at all. It's just that, like,
right.
Hey, he is also not, like, doesn't know what to do quite here. So it's like trying to get Chisei to have her little independence, so it's good for her, and it might also be good for Elias.
Right. I just like how the story's slowly doing it, like, because at first we saw it from Renfred, but the audience impression of Renfred's like, okay, he's a bad guy. His words don't hold much. And then the Fairy King mentioned something about Elias, and you're like, okay, fairies aren't really trustworthy. But then Angelica said something about it, and you're like, okay, we don't really know her too much, but her words hold some weight. And now Lyndall, the person who's arguably, I guess, closest to Elias, is mentioning it too.
Yeah, and with each one, Chisei's starting to open up a little bit more.
Right.
Because she definitely opens up here to Lyndall a little more than anyone else, because she mentions her mother to him, which she hasn't really done with any other character besides Elias.
Yeah.
And
I think she's acknowledging that she kind of is attaching to him because he's the only one there.
Yeah, and she does mention something about her father and that she had a brother, which I don't know if that had really been touched on before.
I don't think a brother has been mentioned.
But she says, I think they ran away from me too. So at first I thought it was just a mother kind of thing, but now we're definitely getting... She had others that were there, part of the family, but they must have left before the mother did.
Yeah.
They're probably like, alright, yeah, screw this little child, we're out.
Right.
And the mother was like, oh, I have to still be with this child. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's...
And then committed suicide.
She's definitely... Chisei definitely had a very terrible past, which we know. And I believe that's the reason she's getting so close to Elias. Like, the first person to actually acknowledge her and show her, not even emotion technically, but to show that he's there. Like, for her to come back to, like a home.
Yeah.
She just latched on.
So, Lyndall goes in and he decides to tell Chisei of his past a bit. And we learn that mages, they're born as mages. So, it's not like something you can learn and become. And they don't know quite how they became mages, so mages started to, like, travel to figure out their, like, origin and why they were made to have these powers and see these creatures.
Right. They're like nomadish.
Yes, exactly. That's why he kind of looks like a shepherd.
He even looks like a nomad.
Yeah, exactly. He says he's a nomadic people. And as he was wandering around, he found Elias.
Yes.
But wasn't terrified of Elias. I feel like I'd be kind of scared if I saw that.
True, but you don't have magical powers.
That is also true.
But I'd still be terrified.
But Elias had a different look here. He was a lot taller.
He was
like
more slim.
Like, slim. and that's
Yeah, he was much taller and skinnier, which we do learn later that he can kind of morph his body to his will.
yes. Yeah, he kind of like passed out because he was hungry. Because as we learned, he was just walking. He's like he woke up, basically, no memories, and just kept walking forwards. It was just gonna keep on walking.
Right, and Elias mentions he doesn't know like where he's from.
Yes.
He like has no memory. And there was this weird shot I just want to bring up. Right before they're about to eat, it like cuts to Lindell's neck, and then it.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know if he was just observing Lindell or he was thinking like, maybe because of where he's at now, his mind's not quite set because he's like, lost and confused, that maybe he thought Lindell could be food.
Right, that's what it was just because it was purposely put in. It was just, it made you just like.
It was either that or like maybe he's more observing the flesh, I guess, and trying, because like even Lindell's like, see, you have some flesh, like I'm not quite sure if you're human or not, and maybe Elias was just trying to figure out quite what a human is or what he's looking at, because the last time we saw him fight himself, it was dogs. So
true.
But we also do get Lindell has a master. I actually really like her character.
They do have very
Rahad, I think is her name.
They do have unique character designs, which is always refreshing.
Yeah, and they're based off like, again, other like, they borrow a lot of different like Western and other stories in this one. So like, her name was Rahad, I believe. She's from the Book of Joseph. So, of course, we have Joseph, who's based on the Book of Joseph as well. So it's just kind of interesting that they kind of have these character tie-ins.
Yeah.
To these like lores and mythology and other stuff. And she makes the observation of Elias how he's a spirit or a fairy. He's close to a fairy as you can get while having a hint of human in him, which is so. Like at first they were thinking, well, maybe he used dark magic as a human and it transformed him, but it's possible he was a fairy first.
Right.
So we still don't know his origin, which I'm hoping we get at some point.
I feel like it's slowly going to unravel, and I feel like it's gonna be like a shocking reveal, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I do have a theory, but I'll save it for later.
Oh, okay. And obviously, when they asked him to transform into something human-like so he could get in the house, he went to a very small person. He went super small.
That is strange.
I saw someone mention that, but I don't remember exactly what they said. I think they were just talking about how it's interesting how he chose it.
That small?
Yeah.
Because there's two, I guess they're mages, but they are human-like. He didn't go to their size. He went smaller.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it was from his perspective, they look small to him.
True.
And like feeble, maybe he did that, but I'm not quite sure. I just wish I could remember what those people were saying, because it was really interesting, but I read that a while ago, and I don't have the best memory. So, yeah, and that's where we learn that he has no memories of his, like, before. So, I'm sure he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't now. Still not. Maybe he could still not know.
Yeah, that's plausible.
I feel like the people that might know are Titania and Oberon, and their guardian guy that was with them, because they mentioned the mistakes he made.
I wonder if he remembers stuff like how much he doesn't remember of himself. Because clearly he seems to have been around for quite a bit. I guess we can guess.
Yeah. I kind of want to say he still doesn't remember before, because like maybe he doesn't seem like he understands some of the conflict between him and the fairies and stuff like that. At least with Titania and Oberon saying the mistakes he made in the past, maybe he doesn't understand those mistakes. And that's why he has no issue interacting with everyone, but people might have issues interacting with him.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. It's just one of my theories. He doesn't know. So
That makes sense.
and I wonder if like at some point later in down the line that he ends up going back to what he was before.
I would guess. I feel like he'll slowly remember, like basing off your theory. I think he'll slowly remember like what he is, or what he was.
Maybe
His
he
purpose.
was actually. Maybe he was like created.
That's okay. That's my theory. Okay, so I just want to touch on this. The scene. This is where he got his name, Elias.
Yes. Which, yeah, good name from her.
Yeah, like
she
she
also gave the name to Lyndall. It's like she's the
name giver.
the namer of mages.
But it was a pretty cool moment how she gave the name, but it makes me question like where do these other names come from? Like
the Mage of Thorns.
well, I
the
understand
Thorn
Mage of
Mage.
Thorn is like a
That
nickname.
one makes sense, but
like
the other one,
Priam,
Priam, yeah, I know.
because wasn't the first
Priam,
person
whatever.
to call him that the little shit sorcerer?
No, Renfred did.
Okay, because I was thinking.
And then Joseph called.
Okay,
him
I was thinking maybe Joseph has some. Maybe like Elias was like created.
because the one memory that he did kind of get before was all red.
Yeah. That was. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that, but I honestly don't know what that could mean.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was like a sea of blood.
Yeah,
like,
I
lots
wonder.
of death, but even still, like he could have been created from the death of like fairies and humans together,
Yeah,
or something like that.
that's
Because somebody was saying like he could have been a creation from Joseph or something.
that's what I was. I saw. That's what I was thinking. Like maybe Joseph created him. Maybe Joseph. This is his first chimera, and he's trying to replicate it. Like maybe he took like a fairy and a human, and like combined them. Or maybe because the reason is like just the name, because like he got that name. Elias was the first name he was given,
Yes.
but then he was called something different by the sorcerers, which is just strange. Also, the size he changed to was kind of the size of Joseph because he's kind of small. That's like a far out left field one, but
Yeah, no,
I
get that.
I feel like Joseph has a connection to Elias that we don't know yet.
Yeah, because like Joseph seemed like he knew him pretty well, right? But in that episode, like when they, met, Elias kind of said like he hadn't met him before.
Right.
He just kind of like knew of him,
Right.
but I feel there had to be a stronger connection.
But
'cause
if-
it seemed like Joseph had known him.
But if, like you said, he doesn't have a memory, maybe he.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it would work, because if Joseph knows him, but he doesn't, it's probably because it was before he lost his memories.
Right. I think it's something. I think he.
Or maybe he doesn't really have memories before, because that's when he was created, and he was just kind of lost, wondering.
Right. It's very interesting. They kind of gave us a small peek inside his past, and I feel like later on they're just gonna keep opening it up, and it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be pleasant, to be honest.
Yes, I from the way the show is with characters' past and stuff, it's always really dark.
Yeah, and
So I'm guessing his is gonna.
this
be
kind of
super-
further proves suspicion. Like, as soon as Lindell said he was worried, I'm like, okay, there's something we don't know that is concerning.
Yes. And so we go back to Elias here at the end, and again it's Renfred who's talking to the bird now. And he's like, you're going to ruin her if you continue to do nothing more than let her live with you. So it's another thing, like all the characters are still building on that.
Yeah, like, it's like,
Which right now, actually, convenient, like during this conversation, she's actually not with him. She's out on her own. So it's actually Renfred saying this, but that advice has kind of already been taken almost. But like, this is what you get, like, Renfred, like everyone's looking out for her.
which is strange, because they all know Elias, but they kind of seem
Yes.
to be worry for her.
Yeah, like they're all like good people. I don't know if it's just because slave baggies are so rare, mages and sorcerers in general, that they all kind of like want to watch each other's backs and stuff like that. Like if there's so few of you, you probably want a stronger bond.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like most characters in the show are all really good, decent people, except for Joseph. But you need one bad character in there.
It opens a lot of questions.
Yes. So we want to do that for the go ahead and jump into the scores? Or is there anything else you want to mention?
That's it. I mean, there was only the last scene was Elias thinking of Chisei, but it wasn't.
Yes. Yeah, kind
of. Sure. You want me to go?
Yeah.
I'll give it a 9. I just like. I'll go 8.5. I just.
All right.
Okay. I just liked. I got distracted. Sorry. I like how they opened up his past, but I also like how they got Chisei away from him. I like Chisei's character when she's not with Elias. Like every other time she was away from Elias, but he was always there. So
like in the shadows.
Right. So she wasn't really alone. She was kind of being watched. But I like it now. She's completely away. She doesn't have to she can just be open. Even other characters who interact with her can just be open. Like Lindell, he's like, yo, dude, I'm worried. Like, this is kind of weird. It's kind of awkward. He's like training you like you're a pet, kind of. Like, I just like how this story kind of went from like, oh, it's gonna be a story between these two characters and how they're gonna, live happily ever after, and it's kind of slowly twisting into this like, this is kind of messed up. Like, we need to address this. Like, there's something concerning here. We're not gonna tell you why. We're gonna leave it a mystery, but there's something that's very concerning, and it's just. I feel like the build-up is just like perfectly steady. Like, it's just slowly building, and you're like, I gotta know what it is. Like, what is it about Elias that makes everyone worried, or like, what is it about him that just something seems off? Like, something just seems wrong with him, and they're doing a good job of like building on to that. But yeah.
All right, so I'm actually give it a 7.5. So I think this is probably one of our bigger discrepancies throughout this any of our reviews. I don't think we've ever been more than like 1.5 from each other.
Yeah, I think it's always been pretty close.
Yeah, so I'm just like, again, the storytelling is fantastic. I do love that part of the show, and that's really, if you want something storytelling, this show's definitely the one to watch. And this episode, they did do a good job of it. I do feel like, I'm trying to find my words here, trying to find my reasonings, but yeah, so I don't know, maybe I feel like there should have been maybe, I don't know, I feel like it would have been better maybe if we got a little less Elias in this episode. I do feel like the thing with him and Renfred towards the end was kind of like that whole, we got some college administration, I guess that's the sorcerers thing, possibly.
Yeah.
But I think anything with the birds and Elias, I felt like didn't really add anything to the episode. And I think they would have cut that out, maybe give us a little more story with like the master for Lyndall. And first of all, I really do like her character. We didn't get much of her, but it is nice to have like just that new diverse kind of character. Like but there's just, a couple scenes here and there that I felt like had a little more downtime than the other scenes. But the storytelling with Lyndall and Chisei was superb. So that's what I'm throwing down on. So I guess that's it.
That's it. And it's time. It's spiel time.
As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video with everyone. All truly helps. And as always, comment down below. Let us know what you thought about the episode, what you did or didn't like. Let us know what you think about what we said. Maybe we missed something that you want to point out. Just no spoilers down below. We are anime viewers only. Do not confirm or deny theories. And until next time, peace out.
See ya.